Context of White Supremacy, Gus T Renegade, and Justice. Truthfully can't say I am glad we are together again, because the only reason this program exists is because we are in a system of racism, white supremacy. If that were not true, this program would not exist and we would not be getting together. So the fact that we are doing this again for the second time today, system of racism, white supremacy, still rolling strong. Hopefully we will get information to correct that problem as soon as possible. I'm not holding my breath, though. We're going to try, though. Today's program, our second program, there is a CHID class, CHID, Comparative History of Ideas, department at the University of Washington. This department, they have quite a few suspected racists in the department. I believe Mr. Eric Hamilton is associated with the CHID department. He is an admitted white supremacist. I believe this department is constructed to refine the practice of racism, white supremacy, to study the non-white people, victims of racism, white supremacy, and refine the method of abuse and mistreatment that is doled out in the system of white supremacy. The specific class where students are joining us today is looking at the life and execution of the victim of white supremacy known as Tupac Shakur, looking at his life within the context of white supremacy and really studying racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, so that what happened to Tupac can be put in a better perspective to understand a lot of the things that he talked about in his music and the way he was murdered, assassinated, executed. Mostly white students in this class, mostly suspected racist white supremacists in this class. That's how they are listed in the program. I know many of the white students in the class were not pleased about this description. Many of the white people, suspected racists in the CHID department, were not pleased about the description. Before we even get started, I want to be very clear. This program is not affiliated with the University of Washington, so the University of Washington faculty and staff hold no weight here. The racist white supremacists, I'm still under their control, so I'm certain they can come in, shut the program down, do whatever they want. But in terms of description, anybody at the University of Washington that does not like it, you have an open invitation to come on this program. I've already had professors and staff members from UW on the program. John Delport, grad student, he's been on the program. Dr. Stephen Bezruchka, also been on the program. He is a professor at UW. So you would not be the first, but anyone who has a problem with this program, description of this program, you are cordially invited. The only caveat I would add, don't send me any non-white people. A non-white person, if you want to come on this program, that's fine. But if you're married to a white person, I want your white spouse to accompany you on the program. Very important. I don't want any non-white people coming to fuss about this because I know that exists too. I want white people. If you're a faculty member at CHID or UW in general and you have a problem with the description for this program or anything that's said on this program, cordially invited. Come get at Gus T Renegade anytime. I'm just going to open the phone lines up because I'm not sure who's ringing in and see if we got students here. If they're here, we'll rock and roll with the program. So 25, I believe this should be Justice. I will get her on. I want to point this out immediately. If these are students that are calling in, I believe the instructor for this course requested that the students use Skype and three-way, and I don't believe I have any Skype calls, so we'll see. But it looks like they're not following orders if these are students who are calling in, but we'll see what we got and rock and roll. So 25, Justice, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, gotcha, Justice, okay. I got an 858. 858. Are you one of the students in the CHID class that is supposed to be participating in this program?
Yes.
Thank you. Outstanding. Hang on the line. I'm going to see who else we got here. We have a 310. 310. Are you one of these students who is supposed to be participating in this program?
No.
Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. Just hang out.
I'll hang
out. 916. 916. Are you one of the students that's supposed to be participating in this program?
No, Gus. I'm listening. I'm on speakerphone.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And 425.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you one of the students supposed to be participating in the program?
Yeah, I'm one of the students.
Outstanding. Okay. The people who are listening. Oh, wait a minute. We got one more. Let me see. 206. 206. Are you one of the students that's supposed to be participating?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so we got 3 of the students. Give me 2 seconds. Forgive me. I'm trying to ring one person in. Quick, give me 20 seconds. 20 seconds, and we'll get cracking. Very interesting. My line is not cooperating for some reason. I'm having some difficulties bringing the other person in. I'll try and correct it as we go. So we'll get started. I will try and bring the other person in as we go. Okay, so we got 3 students. I'm going to make a request for the people who have called in. The chat room is open. If you can pair up with anyone who has called in and 3-way, that would be great because it would open up more lines because we have a lot of students, so I want to make sure they can call in. If you called in, try to talk to someone in the chat room who also called in if you're just listening, and see if you can 3-way. That way you won't be tying up as many lines. If I can make that request, I might even ask some of these students to do that because that would help out a lot, keeping lines open so folks can call in and we can have as many people participating in the program to share their views as possible. So we'll see if we can work that out as we go. Okay, so we have 253, 858, 425, and 206. You are all on the air. If we can go in that order, name, white person, non-white person, and any other pertinent information that you think would be important for our listeners. Uh, 253, that would be you going first. Can I be heard?
I'll go. I'm 858 though. My name's Spencer. I'm a white student.
Spencer, can I be heard?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. There should be 3 other students who are on the line. Your mic is open. 253, 858, 425, and 206. Spencer, you said you are at which area code?
858.
858. Okay, so that's Spencer. 253. You're one of the students in the class, yes? Your mic is open.
Hello. Yeah. My name is John, and I'm non-white, and I'm 206.
Okay, you're 206. 425. 425. Are you there? 425. Lisa.
I'm Lisa.
Lisa. Okay.
And I'm non-white.
Non-white. Okay. All right. So we have one white person and two non-white people on the line. Okay. Now, and I again want to point this out for listeners. This class, far and away, has mostly white people. Actually, yeah, I'm going to need a favor because my lines are filling up and some of the white students might be trying to call in and I don't want them to miss out. So if you're just listening, if you could hang up for a bit and give some of the white people an opportunity to call in, particularly if you have the ability to listen via the computer. Just listen for a little bit and then call back in and I can get you on. In fact, if you stay on the line for 1 second, I might even be able to help you out a little bit so that you can do both. Okay, we got open line now, so we should be good. So hang tight. Everybody who called in now, just hang tight. And, yeah, we'll work with what we got, and hopefully some more of these students will call in to share their views with us. So, yeah, the point that I wanted to highlight, this class has mostly white students in it, and I think the people that are on the line now can verify that. Far and away, way more white students than non-white students. And we have two non-white students on the line and one white student. That right there is exactly why the description reads the way it does. We have a class of suspected racists. If these white people were really interested in replacing white supremacy with justice, I would have more white people here. I would not just have Spencer hanging out on the line. Justice, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Outstanding. Okie dokie. This is the class from the University of Washington. They're focusing on racism, white supremacy, and Tupac Shakur. If you have some questions you would like to ask, please go right ahead.
How do you practice white supremacy every day? Hello?
Is that question towards anyone in specific?
Do you think you can each answer? Please?
I mean, as a white person, I don't. I mean, I don't think that. Huh?
Is there only one white person?
I believe so. I think I'm the only one.
Okay, so that's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you practice white supremacy every day?
Well, I personally don't consider myself a white supremacist. I took the class in order to learn more, to promote justice and to help, learn more about the topic so I can, help educate others about it. I personally don't consider myself to practice white supremacy. I don't do anything specifically to subject people to, unequal, standings within society. I don't think I practice white supremacy.
I think there's some distortion in the back.
What's that?
Whoever's in the car, if you could mute your phone while you are, I guess, getting settled, if you're going to a destination or what have you, because we're picking up the distortion in the broadcast. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm sorry for interrupting, Justice. If you want to continue, please.
Okay, that'll be all for now.
Did you want everyone to respond to your question, or did you just want Spencer? Spencer is a white person, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
did you want the...
Yeah, but he said that he's not a racist, so I was going to ask him a few questions about white supremacy. But that's all for now.
Okay. Do you suspect that Spencer could be a racist white supremacist?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you suspect that?
He's white.
How do you feel about that, Spencer?
It's kind of. Wait, just to clarify, she said that she said yes. Is that correct? She does suspect that?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, I understand just from taking this course, actually, the position that non-whites, have to take against this. For me, it's kind of upsetting just because for me personally, I like to give people an opportunity to get to know me, and I like to get to know them, and I like to establish that, respect and trust, I guess. So it's kind of upsetting just because I don't like to be suspected of being a white supremacist. I like people to get to know me and my character. But I understand where you're coming from, being suspicious of that.
All right, that'll be all for now.
Very interesting. Do you think there's anything incorrect about non-white people, victims of racism, white supremacy, being suspicious of you as a white person?
It's not that I think there's anything incorrect. I think that, unfortunately, we've come to a place in time where, non-whites have to feel that way. I guess I hope that, we can eventually get to a point where people can, give the opportunity to learn about, the content of someone's character, opposed to, not to quote MLK, but...
Sorry. Oh, man. Oh, man. I played Mr. Robertson to introduce the program because I'm very comfortable as a slave can be on the plantation. I'm about that comfortable now. I feel, to have white people, and white people, Spencer, white people have scoffed repeatedly in your class about being referenced as suspected racists. Many of them read the description for this program and contacted more powerful people at the University of Washington and griped and complained. Oh, my gosh. Oh, suspected white supremacists, suspected racists. Oh, my God. I cannot believe this. We're not in for open dialogue. And what you just said, there is absolutely nothing incorrect about a non-white person being suspicious of a white person as long as we are in a system of white supremacy. There's nothing incorrect about it, and that is the logical stance to take for non-white people, victims of racism. I want everybody to, and Spencer, can you verify this, that a lot of white people in your class, suspected white supremacists, have complained consistently about being referenced, well, not even themselves, it's not even personal, but they have complained about non-white people saying they should be suspicious of white people in a system of white supremacy. Is that accurate from what you have observed?
I think people, more so, I don't know, I guess when things are thrown out like white supremacists, I think the white students feel almost like they're being persecuted for being white supremacists.
Oh, well, wait a minute, Spencer. And I'm going to bring somebody else on because we might have another classmate here. 360, are you one of the students that's supposed to be participating in this class?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a white person?
No, I'm non-white. I'm black.
Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the folks that are listening in. We now have 3 non-white students, and we still just got Spencer with us, suspected racist Spencer. The rest of the gang, this is why the description reads the way it does. There are at least, I think, at least 15 white students in this class. Does that number sound in the ballpark, Spencer?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. Now I want to get back to the question that I asked Spencer here, and I want to get the non-white people's commentary on this in a hot second, but you all know the cows, we like to focus attention on white people. I asked you, have white people consistently complained about the suggestion that non-white people be suspicious of white people in a system of white supremacy? You just said that is a logical stance to take. There's nothing incorrect about it, but the white people have complained about this consistently. That's the specific question that I asked. So can I get a yes or no to that, and then you can share whatever thoughts? Have the white people complained about that suggestion consistently in the course?
From what I understand, yes.
Okay. Now whatever thoughts you have around that, please share with us, Spencer.
I think the reason why people are complaining about it, and I don't know who's complaining, I don't know who's sending the emails specifically, but I think the reason why is because as white people we feel because we're being being suspected of being white supremacists, we feel like we're being judged and not persecuted, but we're kind of like immediately have a negative connotation because people assume that we're white supremacists.
Well, wait a minute now, Spencer. See, that's what I think. You got to be real. Excuse me?
I used the wrong word. I said assume.
Thank you, Spencer. Got to be on your toes about words with these white people, which is why you're under suspension, Spencer, because it has been my observation white people tend to brag about their precision with words. I observe this every day. So it just strikes me as very suspicious when white people suddenly become so careless, and it doesn't say assume these white people are racist. It says suspect that they could be. It doesn't say assume anywhere in the description for this program. It says suspect racist. So that's why you're still under suspicion, Spencer. Justice, excellent job. I suspect Spencer is most likely a racist white supremacist myself, but I could be wrong. And he is here. None of the other white people thus far. Whoever's in the car, you're making noise again.
I'm leaving the car. I'm getting on a train right now, so I actually have to go soon. But
he has to go soon. That's why you're a suspect, Spencer. That's why.
I understand that, but I think that there's also, to be completely honest with you, I'm attending a funeral and I have to get there. And I think that it's, I don't think it's right to immediately suspect of someone being a white supremacist. I mean, I'm not going to hang up with someone white supremacist.
Spencer, you just said there is nothing incorrect about a non-white person, victim of white supremacy, suspecting that a white person could be a racist. Did you forget that you just said that on this broadcast?
No, I understand. That.
Okay, well, wait a minute, Spencer. That's the problem that we have. You can't say it's correct, it's logical for you to be suspicious, and then come back 10 minutes later with some sort of personal indignation. Oh, I just think it's really bad that you don't even get to know me and that there's some sort of judgment being made about me before you know anything about my... You can't do that, Spencer, unless you want to confirm my suspicions that this guy's trying to confuse us. He's trying to practice racism, white supremacy, because that's what it sounds like to me, Spencer.
I'm sorry, it sounds that way.
The non-white people that are on the line, could you share your thoughts with us about what you have observed in the class, and even, if you like, what you have heard from Spencer on the program thus far today?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Any of the non-white people that are on the line, I would like to hear your views about what you have experienced, observed in the class, and or what your thoughts are with regards to what Spencer has shared with us today.
Let's see. I think here. Well, Spencer mentioned the whole suspecting, the idea that non-white should be suspecting, every white person that they meet as being, they should suspect them as potentially being a white supremacist. I mean, I feel like most white people in our class don't feel comfortable with that idea, and it has to do with what Spencer was saying about how they feel like people should get to know him first before they start suspecting him of being white supremacist.
Okay. The non-white male just shared, I guess, your views about the being suspicious of white people. My sound went out. I just want, if you could repeat that part for me about your view on the suspicion, please.
Oh, I was saying, like, I feel like, well, most white people in the class don't feel comfortable with the idea of being suspected as being white supremacists just based on the fact that they're white. And, I mean, I can understand, like, I understand, like, I understand how they feel, I guess. Well, I mean, actually, I don't understand how they feel because I'm not white, but, I mean, like, I can, like, understand, like, why they feel / think the way that they do. And, I mean, like, I understand the logic behind it, but, like, at the same time, like, it's hard for me to also suspect, like, all, like, white people as being, like, white supremacists. I mean, I have a lot of white friends. I mean, it's hard for me to, like, suspect that even they could be, like, white supremacists. Because, I mean, like, to me, like, I mean, like, knowing them, like, I feel like they're good people, and I understand that, like, good people could also potentially be white supremacists. Like, I understand that, but it's hard for me to actually suspect, like, anyone that I'm friends with to actually be, like, potentially a white supremacist.
Oh, I totally understand. So, what is your name, sir?
Mavi.
Mavi, okay.
Yeah.
Mavi. Outstanding. Okay. I totally understand that. It's very difficult to be suspicious of white people if you're friends with them. We're all about honesty here, sir. As honest as we can be. This is a very important question. If you go back and listen to the first program that we did today, you'll understand why. Are you or have you ever been engaged in a sexual relationship with a white person?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are you now?
No, not right now, no.
Okay. Yeah, when you have sexual relationships with white people, when you have, a lot of close contact with white people, it becomes extremely difficult to be suspicious of them. And, I mean, you're invested in these white people at this point. It's like, Jill is my friend. Roger is my homie. Spencer, that's my man. He's not a racist. We go to the ball game. We hang out, met his parents. I mean, no way, man. No way. You're talking crazy. And I mean, even Spencer, suspected racist, who's about to leave us, said there's nothing incorrect about it at all. It is the logical stance in a system of white supremacy. I want to hear some more from Mavi, but there are two other non-white people who are in this class who are on the line. I think one of you is at, is it 425? Is that you, Mavi? Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that's Lisa.
Okay, which line, the female, which line are you?
I'm on 425.
Okay, outstanding. What is your name, ma'am?
Weeza.
Can you say one more time, please?
Weeza.
Weeza?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, outstanding.
I think a lot of people, a lot of white people have felt really uncomfortable in the class and have actually complained, and they just don't feel right about being labeled as white supremacists. But
wait a minute. No one has labeled them white supremacists. Spencer pointed that out. We got to be very careful with our words. They have been suspected of being racist.
Yes, suspected.
Okay.
But at the same time, I feel like we are victims, and it is, like Mavi said, difficult to be suspicious if you have friends who are white, but we have to suspect.
Are you suspicious of the white people in the class?
I don't really know them, but they could be white supremacists.
Even Spencer?
I don't know him on a one-to-one basis, but he's white, so.
I don't know Spencer on a one-on-one basis either. I couldn't pick him out if someone offered to give me a MacBook Pro today. If I could pick Spencer out of the class, I couldn't do it. So I don't know him either. but I do strongly suspect he is a racist white supremacist just from his conduct on this program. Yeah, he's definitely on the suspect list. What has your impression been? Do you feel like the white people in the class, they have, they're genuinely concerned about racism, white supremacy, and they really, want to do something to help correct this problem?
Some of them might have the intentions to, but like you said, there's not a lot of people that are calling in. There's like 3 black people online and like 1 white person, so that just goes to show. Like if they were really taking it seriously, then a lot of people would be on the phone right now. So. Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. I agree wholeheartedly. Look, I just want to, this is comparison contrast. Do you have a lot of contact with white people, Muiza?
Well, I grew up in South Africa, so I had probably not as much as here.
Okay. Have you now? Have you ever been engaged in a sexual relationship with a white person?
No.
Interesting contrast. There is another non-white person on the phone. I believe a non-white male on the phone who's in this class. You have not spoken yet? The other non-white male, I think Mavi is at 425.
I'm 360.
360. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. 360. Okay. And so who is at 206? Who's at 206? Your mic is on. 206. Person who called in at 206. I thought we had a third non-white person on the line at 206. Not sure what's going on. 206, we cannot hear you. If you can hear us, perhaps. Is that you, 206? Was that you? Okay. Can't hear you. 206, hang up and call right back in.
Hello. Sorry,
okay,
man. I was talking to my brother.
Oh, okay. No
Hello?
problem. Yes, sir. We can hear you. 206?
Yeah, this is 206 here.
What is your name, sir?
Oh, my name is John.
John, okay.
Yeah.
Greetings, sir. And you are a non-white male?
Yeah, I'm non-white, yeah.
Okay, outstanding. Can you, share your views on what you have seen in the class thus far, and if you heard Spencer's commentary on this program, can you share your thoughts?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Did you hear me?
Yeah, could you repeat it again? I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir. If you could share your thoughts on what you've seen in the class so far from the white students, and if you heard what Spencer said earlier in this program, if you would like to share your thoughts on that as well.
Oh no. It's kind of hard to explain, the people have been really arguing over a lot of stuff, and especially white and non-white people, and for me, I don't know what to say about it, and I don't know how to put it in words.
Have you, do you feel like the white students in the class, from what you've seen, do you feel like they really want to help solve this problem?
Oh, not really, because I don't think so, because they mostly argue everything, when person says something, and they would jump into it, and then later on, then they will they end up arguing and fighting and stuff, over a lot of stuff, and I think it's not very helpful, to end this system. And if we can, come together and really work white and non-white, I think then we can come with a better solution, but but some of white people seem like to run away from being suspected and stuff. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I think that's my experience right there. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, man.
We are probably having some technical difficulties. This is Justice.
Okay, all right.
So everybody sit tight.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Justice, can you hear me?
Hello?
Don, yeah.
Justice, you can hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Gus? I can hear you. Gus, you there?
Can you hear me?
Gus?
Justice, can you hear me?
Hello?
What is going on?
I'm here.
Justice, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Do you have questions that you want to ask anyone?
No, I don't.
Okay. Cool. For Spencer, do you feel that you've done as much as you are able to do to be helpful in this class towards replacing white supremacy with justice? Did you hear my question, Spencer?
I'm sorry, I didn't. I'm on the train now, though, so I'm just listening. So, I don't feel comfortable talking. I don't know. Common courtesy enough to talk on the train. On your phone.
Oh, man. Gee whiz. Which line are you, Spencer? 858?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to mute Spencer since he's not participating. He doesn't feel comfortable talking anymore. Suspected racist, known as Spencer. Thank you for your contribution. If you want to call in, 347-215-6071. If you want to call in, I would prefer that we wait a little while so we can give the students an opportunity to call in and share their views. I had tried to correct this beforehand by asking that they take appropriate measures to get as many people on the line as possible. And it doesn't look like the white people invested much of an effort in trying to participate in the program. So again, the number 347-215-6071. We do have a line open, but I'm asking that just wait a little bit and see if some of the students, if they're going to call in to participate in the program. Yeah, this is why I said. Oh, okay, we got one here. Let's see. Back of the bus, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am. Greetings,
Greetings, sir. You have observed the students in this class on a consistent basis. I'm not sure if you heard Spencer's commentary earlier in this broadcast. Can you kind of share what you've seen thus far in the class, your feelings on the conduct of the white people?
Yes. First and foremost, I suspect the white people are racist. I do not believe they've been helpful at all in, attempting to replace white supremacy with justice. I can say that the white people were asked questions in the class, and we derived a list from those questions. The first 2 weeks, it worked quite well. They were asked questions specifically about the system of white supremacy, and they'd provide answers. The class would be asked, do you believe this is accurate? If no one believed it was not accurate, we would use a common definition. It would be written on the board, or just an observation deemed accurate would be written on the board. A list would be produced and passed out at the beginning of class so that everyone could use that list specifically about the system of white supremacy. So it has a definition of white supremacy, for example. Actually, I can post this, and I'll post the link in the chat room so all the listeners can see it. But the white people would drastically change what they had to say from the 2 weeks prior. It's not white supremacy anymore, it's capitalism. The being suspect of all white people in the system of white supremacy. That was actually suggested by a white student. And that's something I already do, but a white student said that's something that needs to be done. And last class meeting, a white student was asked, did a white person suggest doing that? And another white person said yes. So just to illustrate the drastic shift in the conduct of these white people, for a white person to one time say, you should be suspect of white people in the system of white supremacy. That's logical, that's correct. You can't distinguish, when you look at white people, who is a racist and who's not. No white person has given us a code so that we can distinguish every time who is racist and who's not. So you must be suspect of all white people. That's just a brief synopsis. There has been a lot of, I guess you could say, interference. I received a lot of emails from the department, never from any individual directly from the class, that things being done were incorrect. There were a lot of problems in the class. I have yet to identify a single problem, just a lot of banter back and forth. But it's my 2 cents.
Wow. I guess, do you feel that any of the white people, do you feel that any of them have displayed a genuine interest in trying to solve this problem and demonstrated that they're trying to be as helpful as they possibly can be to you, a non-white person, victim of white supremacy?
No, not as helpful as they can be. I can say when we initially started asking questions, white people did speak honestly and accurately. There would be a few times when white people would say something confusing, but we could continue to question, and with logic, we'd get something that was accurate, people could agree on. That definitely changed, and that's a consistent trend that I've seen in speaking or questioning white people. The first time you see them, sure, they can say, yes, white supremacy exists, yes, white people participate in the system, so forth, so forth. The next time they see you, that will drastically change, and I think that's demonstrated very well in this program.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I just want to clarify words, I guess. Has there, to your knowledge, has there been a lot of scoffing from more powerful white people about the use of the term suspected racist or suspected white supremacists? And if that has happened to your knowledge, what have they been saying? How have they responded to that?
That has been happening. White people have been scoffing at the term. They would say white supremacist, and I'd reply white supremacist was not used singularly. It was suspected white supremacist, and there's a big difference. As far as responses, I was indirectly told by a victim of racism that white people wanted me to change, I guess get the host, you, to change the show description. And, I mean, that's not going to happen. I don't believe that's accurate. I suspect that white person in doing so is practicing, or actually they are practicing racism. I'm trying to confuse non-white people.
I guess I agree with some of the other non-white students here. I couldn't pick Spencer out of a group. I don't know any of these white people on a personal level that are in this class, but just from what Spencer said, he said there's nothing incorrect about a non-white person being suspicious of a white person in a system of white supremacy. He said it's logical. I totally understand it. There's nothing incorrect about it. Just Spencer alone, I think, could be very helpful in, number one, going to tell any white person who has a problem, just repeating exactly what he said here. Hey, nothing incorrect about that. They're not doing anything wrong. In fact, them being suspicious is logical. Just Spencer alone, being a white man, I think he could be an extraordinary help in this class. Anytime anyone has a problem, he could be Superman. Get out of the way, non-white people. I got this one. Don't feel you have to open your mouth to say anything to defend why you are suspicious of white people. Spencer got your back. Spencer for hire. I think he could do that easy. All he'd have to do is repeat what he said here. Has he or any white person in the course done that to anyone, any of the non-white people that are here? Can you speak to that? Have any of the white people who agree that this is logical, have they ever stepped up to challenge white people when they say, hey, you all should not be suspicious of white people?
Not proactively. Not proactively. With questioning, some white people reluctantly may say something, but not proactively. Also interesting to note is the alleged problems that have been arising in this classroom that have been brought by white people that are in the department at the administrative level. All kinds of things that are not true, are not accurate, that I'm saying everything about white supremacy, and if a white person doesn't agree, then it's my way or no way, which is a huge, huge inaccuracy. Everything that we discuss about white supremacy, what it is and how it works, came from asking white people questions. And these white people said they didn't know anything about white supremacy, but a list was compiled that is pretty extensive. Simple, about one-page list, very extensive. Details about the system. To my knowledge, no non-white person in the classroom has made a statement about white supremacy, what it is, how it works. Rather, white people were questioned, and from their answers, we've used that as a guide to what white supremacy is, how it works, and so forth.
I guess we could go down the line. The non-white, now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you all. The non-white people that are in this class, I guess we'll defer. We'll go with females first. What have you learned about racism, white supremacy from the time this course started? I believe you all have been going a little over a month now, just from being in the class and observing the white people in this class. What have you learned from this course thus far? I'd like to hear everybody's comment on this, and we can start with the female at 425. Is it Moiva?
Moiva, yeah. Well, basically, that racism does still exist, and it doesn't look like from the class that it's gonna be changed, and it's really disappointing to me. We're trying to work together, but not everybody wants to get rid of the system. We've done a lot of assignments on how we would change white supremacy, just writing it down, but as someone said earlier, nothing active has happened. So it's really disappointing, I think.
I can confirm that. I don't know if Renegade, I don't know if you're still on the line. I can confirm that the second week in the classroom, it was asked of the students, is white supremacy a problem? Is this a major problem that needs to be fixed? Everybody saw this as a problem that needed to be fixed, including the white students. The next week, one white person brought in an assignment specifically dealing with how would you go about solving the problem of white supremacy. Only one white person brought in an assignment. Yeah, it's pretty discouraging. But I don't think, to Mwiza, I don't think white people have demonstrated that they will end the system of white supremacy. They have the ability. So it's up to non-white people, I believe we as victims of racism need to change our behavior and get more victims aware of what is going on. But yeah, it's pretty sad state.
The non-whitey wick, he's one of our loyal listeners. If you are listening in, log into your Skype account, and I should be able to assist you. Oh, and the chat room is open today. I'm not looking at the chat room because I hate the chat room. I despise it. But it is open, so you can go there, hang out. You should act a fool today because I'm not reading it. So you can type hate on Gus. He's the most ignorant victim in the world. Whatever you want in the chat room. Have a blast. Knock yourself out. I am, if you get back on there, non-mighty wick, I got you. I can pick you up. And back of the bus, I'm probably going to ring you as well because that will open another lineup. So hopefully other people from the class, they can call in and they can share their views. But I'll let you know. Just stay on the line. I'll let you know when I get ready to grab you, so that'll open a lineup. So you'll just be on my line, not their line. But yeah, the other folks that are still there that have not shared, I would love to hear your experience with the course. What have you learned thus far? And particularly as it relates to your observation of the white people in the class. That's John and Mavi. Are you all still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, let's
on there.
Okay. Yeah, what have you all learned, and what your observations have been of the white people in this class?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first then. Well, I mean, like, one thing I'll say is that I'm taking like other classes that have to do with race. I mean, I was kind of learning some of the things there. I mean, the origins, to a certain extent. I mean, I can't say I know how race how race was first used in America. I mean, I know it had to do with slavery and so on. But anyways, yeah, so I was learning about those kind of things in some of my other classes. So I understand better how it is that we still live in the system today. And well, about the class and how when we're talking about the white students in the class. I mean, I believe that many of them do have intentions of anti-white supremacy, but at the same time, I wonder if they're actually gonna do something in their daily lives to actually change it. Because even I have been thinking about it since this quarter from my other classes and also just from talking about it in this class. But I feel if you even if you just have intention of changing it, if you don't do anything about it, then you're not exactly helping solve it. So ultimately, it'll just end up being the same if you don't actually put any effort to do anything about it. And that's the one thing I wonder. I'm in my head, I keep wondering, are they actually going to do things in their daily life? For example, are they going to tell their kids when they have kids about white supremacy and about other things related to it, or are they just going to just not really talk about it? I mean, that's one thing I feel you can do, educating people. And I don't know if I don't know how many of them plan on doing it if they haven't already done it. Honestly, I have no idea. So, anyways, that's what I think about it. They have to educate people that they know. And I'm not saying that they need to talk to every single person that they meet, but if, let's say, a friend makes an ignorant comment, I feel it should be their responsibility, or anyone's responsibility in general who knows anything, to inform their friends of how their thinking is wrong. Or, yeah. Does that make sense? Or
it makes perfect sense to me.
Okay.
Not that means anything, because many folks have said that I am quite ignorant. So,
Okay.
that could be true, but it makes perfect sense to me. I just based on the evidence today's program, one white person in a class that is dominated by white people, both numerically, metaphorically, literally, everywhere around, dominated by white people. We have one white person call in for the show, and they had the audacity, the gumption, to wonder, why on earth do these Negroes think we could be racist? I mean, whatever. One of the people asked, Mavi, what are you a black male?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. They were just curious. Okay. Back of the bus. I'm going to bring you in on my line now. So I'm gonna disconnect you for this one, but I'm gonna ring you right back. So just
all right.
It's me. I'm calling you right now. John, can you share your just what you've learned and what your thoughts, feelings have been about the white people that you've observed in the class so far? And we do have an open line. So if there are more students who are trying to call in, we have an open line. Feel free, give us a jingle. Want to hear from you.
I've seen this course, and I learned a lot about the system, things that I didn't even know before, and I kind of knew, but I didn't really know how to explain them. But when I took this class, it kind of gets me, that's it, that's like white supremacy and stuff, and I know it existed, but I didn't know it was a system, until I took these two credit class, But as a black man from Africa, I have witnessed it, a lot of stuff on campus and off campus, really how people look at me, especially white people, they look at me like I shouldn't be what am I doing here, and it gave me weird, it kind of gave me a weird feeling, why I'm just a human being like them, and then they should be they shouldn't be thinking like that, because at the end of the day, they're not even better than I do, so that's my experience. But this class kind of gave me a lot of knowledge about it, and I know the system now, and I know it existed and stuff.
Wow. Do you think you will be suspicious of all white people after taking this course? Do you think that's a suggestion that you're going to take forward from this class?
I know, yes, I would definitely say yes, because, that little smile, they always smile. White people always smile at people,
Mm-hmm.
And I know from that it's it's just a fake smile, and that smile, it really it make me kind of run away from them, because it's not true,
Mm.
And where I came from, we don't, we don't. I know here in America, there's so many races, but my background and everything, I'm from Africa, from Sudan, and where I came from, we don't believe someone is above, we don't believe someone is above, someone, or anyone except God, But when I came here, it kind of seemed or tone of your skin, kind of, if you're darker skinny like me, then you're the last person, and then the lighter you are, then the higher you go, and it's really, it kind of hurt me inside.
Wow. That, what you just said, sir, that is, I feel that's an important part of racism, white supremacy that needs to be acknowledged, and why I think it is critically important to make the distinction between black people and non-black victims of white supremacy, because the darker you are, black people, they tend to be treated much, much worse in the system of white supremacy, and I think that is a critical distinction to share and be honest about at all times. Critical. Do you all have anybody? Any? Please go ahead.
Go ahead. Go. Just ask your question.
I didn't even have a question. Please, if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share, please, anyone.
I'm glad for victims of racism. We're able to get a bit more information about the system of white supremacy. Mavi, I would strongly suggest that you be suspect of all white people. I don't think when white people came to this area of the world known as North America first, I don't think they saw the non-white people here and somehow communicated to them, hey, we're racist. We'll probably kill off a lot of your family and take your land. I'm sure they smiled, they traded trinkets. I'm sure they had business deals that weren't respected or upheld by the white people. There's a consistent trend of white people being deceptive. And I'm not pointing fingers at any of the so-called friends that are white that you have, but I'd just be suspect of them. And if they're your friend, they should be really helpful. Like, you should be able to ask them anything about the system of white supremacy, and they should get you an answer. If you need assistance, you should be able to ask those white so-called friends. But I'd just like to highlight, I'd strongly suggest to be suspect of all white people.
I have some of the suggestions that white people in the class have submitted for ways we can work against racism, white supremacy. This is folly. I just want to share some of these and hear some of you all's thoughts about what these suspected racists have shared. Before I do so, I did want to announce, if you're in the chat room and you're listening to the program, and you would like to participate, you can shoot me a private message and let me know your Skype, and I might be able to get you on the call if you would like to participate, share your views about what you've heard, racism, white supremacy. First, before I read some of these responses, Justice, did you have any questions you wanted to ask any of our guests for today's program?
No, but I do want to say that it has been a good show so far.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I don't have any questions or anything else right now.
Okay. I wish there had been more white people here, because you would have more questions if there had been white people here, correct?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
But the white person said that he wasn't a racist, but that he was practicing racism, white supremacy.
You suspect he was practicing racism, white supremacy when he said that?
Yeah, saying, hey, I'm not a racist. But he's white, so. Yep.
I agree completely. Sounds very logical to me. We do have an open phone line. Open phone line 347-215-6071. I'm trying to reserve it for the students, though. So hang out. If you're not a student, hang out. You can go play in the chat room. It's open. Do your thing. But yeah, I'm going to get to some of these responses. Give me 20 seconds so we can get some of these, and I can hear your thoughts on these responses.
They sent out an email and said this is not compulsory. You don't have to participate in this to pass the class. Just wanted to throw that out there.
We got another caller. Let's see if this is one of these students from the class. All right, we have a 310. Are you one of these students from the class? 310.
No, sorry, Gus, I'm not.
Okay, 310. What you can do? You were on the last show, right? Making sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's me.
What? I can hook. Do you have a Skype account, sir?
I do not have a Skype account.
Okay. What you can do, it's
I
real.
can call back I'll call back in a little bit. Give us an announcement, I guess, when folks can call back in. But I'll hang up, clear the line in case you have any students that decide to call in now.
What you can do, 31. I don't know if you have the ability, but if you're at your computer, the Skype thing, super easy. It'll take 5 minutes. You can download it. When you get that, shoot me an email, or if you're in the chat room, you can send me a private message once you set your account up, and I can bring you in, and so you'll be on the line, and you can hear, and you can talk right from your Skype line. It'll be clear. Lauren Ashley's doing it right now, and she's the clearest person on the line. So if you want to do that, just shoot me a private message in the chat room. I'll get it, and I'll bring you on immediately. If not, just call back in a little bit after we get some more time.
Coolio.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. No problem. No problem. All right. Let's look at some of these responses that the white people have offered up. The non-white instructor of this course, he requested that the students come up with suggestions on ways to get out information about racism, white supremacy, how to replace white supremacy with justice. Just, one page of some suggestions. This is one of the papers. Okay. In order, and this is from a white person, suspected racist, in order to accomplish this system of justice, it would be imperative for whites and non-whites to work together. Now, we could just stop right there. Work together. Classic foolishness from racist white supremacists. Arguably, you could say that Toby and Master out in the cotton field are working together. I see non-white people and white people together every day, and we're still in a system of racism, white supremacy. So I have no idea what this means or how this is going to replace white supremacy with justice. But moving forward, in order to establish the system of justice, there would need to be a sense of trust, understanding that the motives of both whites and non-whites are to ensure a system of justice. See, this right here, I feel like, is going directly to, hey, I don't like it that the niggers are suspecting that I'm racist. I liked it much better when we were cool. We were sleeping together. We were partying together. We were hanging out. I don't like that. That's the environment that I'm most comfortable in. I don't like it when we get together and I'm a suspected racist. I don't like that. It's not cool. Even though that is totally logical, as the suspected white supremacist Spencer shared at the beginning of the program. Okay, I'm going to go forward. This would contradict the premise that every non-white should suspect. Oh, I should have just kept reading it. He spelled it out clearly. This would contradict the premise that every non-white should suspect every white person of being a white supremacist, and would require non-whites to trust the motives of the whites. If non-whites continue to assume, if non-whites continue to assume whites as being white supremacists, this would encourage a system of mistrust and doubt. This would then lead to a system of prejudice against all whites. I believe you should give a person, regardless of race, a fair, underline that, fair, a fair opportunity to have your trust and respect. It is through their actions and activities to maintain that trust and respect. Suspected racist. I don't want to read the names because I don't. The non-white instructor, I don't want to get them in any sort of trouble, what have you. But yeah, this is from a suspected racist mailed in this response here, or wrote this response. Do you all have any thoughts on what this suspected racist, what he wrote down for his suggestion paper about how to replace white supremacy with justice?
Sure.
Was that Mobby?
Yeah.
Did you want to respond to that?
Wait. Oh, we asking if I want to respond to it?
Yes.
Oh. I feel like that's basically the point I mentioned like earlier. Like, I mean, I feel like, well, actually, let me think about the answer first. This statement just basically just says like the same thing about how we should, we should get to know the person before we suspect them of potentially, before we suspect them of being white supremacist or racist. So I think that's basically what that's saying. And like I understand what that person is saying, but at the same time I can also understand the logic of suspecting him because we don't know who the white supremacists are. So the best way to know who could be a white supremacist would be to suspect all white people as potentially being white supremacists. So, yeah.
Did any of the other non-white people who are on the line, did you all have, I guess, a thought on the suggestion that I read from the suspected racist? I can be heard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's Muiva and John. Did you all have thoughts on those this suggestion written in from the suspected racist, or not really?
Well, I don't know how working together would really solve anything. I think that they have the ability and power / access to the information, so they can solve it themselves by spreading the word of injustice of Black people. So, yeah, I don't know how that would help.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that too, because like it's like, white people have all the power and then non-white, don't have the power. So it's really difficult, like to really, because to work, because everything will, would be like unbalanced, and then because of the power, because of the power and stuff. So I don't know. Working together is, in a sense, it's good. If it's good in some ways, but in some ways it's not helpful, in this system. But it could work, with the same race or maybe with the same ethnic group or something.
Very interesting. I'm sorry, did I interrupt somebody? I'm sorry. Was somebody going to say something or no?
No, I got nothing.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. I'm going to. There are a lot of these, so there are quite a few. We can go over some of their suggestions, and you all can share other thoughts that you have. We can probably take a call or two as we get closer to the bottom of the hour. I'm going to take a quick commercial to resolve an issue I'm having. A non-white person got bumped off the line, so I'm going to try and get them back in. So I'm going to take a quick commercial. Back of the bus. We're going to get disconnected for a moment, but I'm bringing you back in just so that I can add the other person to the line. So quick commercial. Everybody sit tight. Just last about a minute and a half, and we will be right back. Context of White Supremacy. There is a line open. Any of the students, if you are listening and you would like to call in, line is open. Feel free to call Gus T Renegade and Justice. Context of White Supremacy.
Is racism hurting you? On issues of race, are you unable to speak, think, and act with clarity and confidence? Are you tired of laughing when nothing is funny, smiling when you are not happy, agreeing when you really disagree? At counterracism.com, you can learn specific strategies and techniques to counter the behaviors of the people who practice racism in all areas of activity, using words correctly, following counter-racist logic, even counter-racist science projects designed to reveal what racism is, how it works, and how to counter it. The open-source code writing format allows you to pick and choose from a variety of counter-racist suggestions so you can produce the code that works for you. Stop by counterracism.com today and help replace racism with justice.
That's counter-racism.com.
All right, we're back. Everybody's back. Commercial's over. Added everybody back to the line. Everybody that I have on my Skype line, behave. Stop acting nutty and logging out so we can do the show. Thanks. Love you all. One. All right. Let's look at some more of these responses. They are most interesting. I hope everyone is having fun in the chat room. Like I said, I'm not looking, so y'all should be having a blast. Call names, all that good stuff. Act crazy. This is from another suspected racist. He has some bulleted points of things he thinks would be constructive to replacing white supremacy with justice. Number 3, groups of informed people must unite together and become active in pushing the agenda ending white supremacy to the masses in order to create a larger social movement. That's what he said. Now, not too shabby. I mean, still, for a white person, I expect a lot more. I feel like a few revisions and this becomes an excellent suggestion. This is what my edit would be. Groups of white people, because he said informed people, I have concluded white people by far are the most informed people on the planet in the system of white supremacy. So groups of white people must unite together and become active in pushing the agenda of replacing white supremacy with justice to the masses in order to create a larger social movement or admit their unwillingness to do so. I think that would be very helpful. Get busy sharing information about racism, white supremacy, what it is, how it works, or admit, hey, we really don't have that much of a problem with this. White supremacy now, white supremacy forever. Excellent suggestion in my view. What do the folks on the call, the non-white people, what do you all think of the suggestion as they wrote it, or my edit?
I think your edit is most accurate and would be most productive. What was written by the white person at the start, but it doesn't really get the problem on the way to really being solved. yeah, it would be very helpful as well if white people, if they really weren't vested in replacing white supremacy with justice, if they just said that, that'd be very helpful. Yeah.
I think your edit is
about the victim of it.
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Come on.
What was that, sir?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello. All right. How long is this gonna take? How long do we have? Like,
about 40 minutes left.
Okay.
40 minutes? All right.
Yeah.
So,
Did you guys have a response to what was read earlier?
Yeah, okay, this is Mavi. I personally don't think it's limited to, white people. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, if you rely on, inform white people to, if you only rely on, white people to, spread the knowledge or whatever, I feel like you're basically, it's basically implying that, non-whites don't really have much responsibility either. And I personally think that, informed whites and non-whites should, spread the knowledge to, other people. Yeah, that's it, yeah. I'm sorry?
Yeah, that I just like to chime in that non-white people were victims of racism and white supremacy.
Yeah.
And I do believe the simplest way for the system to end would be for those people who practice white supremacy to just stop, or for those people who practice white supremacy to inform us. I mean, make moves to stop the system. I don't think the amendment added by Gus was to say that we don't have anything to do. I think it speaks for itself that he has his program,
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly with back of the bus. I believe there is a non-white instructor who is leading the charge in this class. I think that speaks volume. I wholeheartedly feel that non-white people, victims of racism, white supremacy, can and should do everything that they can to replace white supremacy with justice. I completely support that. But it would be easiest the people that have the ability to correct this problem the quickest, white people. Those folks, they don't need to come ask Gus nothing. They could get together today and I'm sure come up with an A+ strategy to get this information out to as many people as possible. And really, you don't even need to do that. All white people would have to do is say, hey, mistreating people on the basis of not being white is over. That's it. We don't have to have any meetings. We don't have to get any books. Tim Wise doesn't have to go out on a lecture circuit. All they need to do is say, hey, mistreating people on the basis of color is over. Period. We're done with that. We're going to justice. Nothing else. I mean, all these seminars and all this, I don't know what all that is about. I mean, if it's that hard to get white people to stop practicing racism, white supremacy, that's why I added the amendment. Perhaps they should just concede, hey, we're not going to stop. We enjoy it. Mistreating black people, non-white people, that is our pleasure. That is our joy. We're going to do it forever. Amen. Fine. Just say that. Put that on T-shirts and wear those around every day.
Be helpful.
Let's see. Another response here. Very, very interesting. This one says, the term white supremacy itself is quite problematic for me, as it conjures up a whole range of images that I associate with only a small minority of white extremists. Okay. I find this very interesting because I believe this course, you all, I believe on the very first day of the class, you all wrote down a definition of racism, white supremacy, so that no one should be confused or unclear about what you all mean, at least in this class, when someone uses the term white supremacy. Is that true? Did you all go over a definition that you all have agreed upon for at least this class about what white supremacy means?
That is correct. And it was actually, I do believe it was productive, and I'm glad it happened. But it was, I guess, initiated by white people who said that the status quo is white over non-white. And from there, we asked what's the most accurate term, and white people said white supremacy. And from there, we worked the definition.
Wow.
The radio on white supremacy.
Wow. So I was laughing. I think I heard one of the non-white people share with someone that they were around, that they were doing a radio program about.
Oh no, it's me, sir. I'm just telling my brothers, you know what.
No apologies. I just thought that was
I just told them in my dialect, you know, because in Dinka, you know, I just like we, you know, I'm on the radio show and stuff, listening, you know, somewhere here, so in Dinka.
Wow. No apologies, sir. You didn't do anything incorrect. I was just thinking, I'm not sure I've ever in my life heard someone tell me, hold on a second, I'm on this radio program talking about white supremacy. That's a new one for Gus. I
actually asked them. I just asked my brother if you want to listen, you know, and then it's like, no, he's busy, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to learn this kind of stuff too, you know, so.
Me too. Me too. Hopefully, as you learn more, he'll see you and he'll see the value in learning about it, and he'll become interested. Maybe he'll be a listener down the road. Wow. Do you all? I guess I could look at some of the. We could go through some more of these inept suggestions that the white people have tossed out, because it's quite a few here. Do you all have some suggestions or thoughts, just based on what you've seen in the class, about ways that we can go about replacing white supremacy with justice?
I'm sorry. Okay, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yes, sir. We could read some more of the suggestions that the white people have offered, the suspected racists in your class, but I was just curious if you all had some suggestions or your own thoughts about how to go about replacing white supremacy with justice.
Okay, well, that makes I'm going to go. What I think about this is that, the best way to end it, honestly, is, just educating people, as many as you can, about it, just so they actually know that it does exist. And if they do acquire that knowledge, then they can also pass it on to their kids, and hopefully their kids will also keep fighting for equality. And, at the end, I'm hoping that there will be justice. I mean, there's no way to know for sure that this would actually work, but education is important. I feel like that's the best way to end it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said media, like this show, you know, call people, ask them about it, and and get suggestions from them, and then that will, I don't know, that's part of education too, educating people about it, and then they can add what they think and stuff. about it. So I think that's, and also what I wrote on my paper was like, I mean like in big companies, like maybe Microsoft or Boeing and stuff, maybe there's like white or black or not, like, working together. And if there's mistreatment and stuff, then people have to like actually do something about it, or just like hire attorneys and to deal with it, and end it, right there. And there, like maybe a lot of companies would probably like maybe come up with some kind of solution to end it and stuff. That's what I suggested, No. But if like and also I feel like ignoring stuff too. If a white person do something bad to you, or and just ignore it, that will really make everything worse, because you have to like step up for it or just fight, and that's what I said before.
I think that education and media, they're all paramount. At the same time, white people need to take accountability and also just start spreading the word to non-whites that, white supremacy is a system of whites over non-whites and it exists, and just basically start from the bottom up, and I think that would be helpful.
One of our listeners, she wanted to know from the non-white people on the call who were born in an area of the world other than the United States, if you were taught or told to stay away from black people from the United States, if you were taught that black people in the United States are dangerous or something's wrong with them, that you all should stay away from them. Just if any of you heard that or could share any thoughts on that.
That would be me, cause we came here in '99. My family moved here. I was young and I was really little, and in order to come here, you have to do like orientation, like United States, like orientation. They teach people about the culture, about the people, and everything, And one of the things that they brought up was if you go to United States, because like they actually showed the video, like people interacting. There were ambulance, there were like all cars and stuff, black people and black people, Spanish, and and white, So I think I don't really remember, but like one of black people, I think they kind of. I think that there was a close-up on a black person, and one of the audience, one of us, asked a question, are those African and stuff? And then they say like, yeah, they're African, but like they're African American. They were taken there as slaves a long time ago. That's what they say. And some of them are dangerous, So you guys should be careful. To be careful about what you choose as a friend, Well, as we come to the United States, we have that fear, like black people are dangerous, and I think black people here, they have their own problem, like this kind of problem that we are discussing, Maybe they're not against us. Maybe they're against the system, So when we came here, it was a different story. We, just my own family, and then myself. We had a hard time. Like actually, actually in middle school, I had a lot of, I didn't really have a lot of friends. There were a lot of black people, but. I didn't really know. I was confused. Who to choose as a friend and who to leave out. And my experience was, just some of them would come and then they would like I would say black people in general, will come to me and then, they would look at me like as a primitive, or somebody like, from nowhere, and then I just get that click, and I kind of isolate myself from them, big time, and then I didn't really have friends, I had in middle school I really had like tough time, getting along with people, so and then I end up not trusting anyone and stuff. Yeah. Look.
How were you treated by white people when you came here? How did they treat you?
I mean, it's hard to tell, it's really hard, because black people are open, If they don't like you, they tell you they don't like you, and then somebody, doesn't like you, And for them, it's just so confusing, All they do is come to you and they tell you to smile, And so and I was like, in Africa, we don't just smile, If you smile, you're just like a retarded person, And if we smile, it's just for real. You can't really and then that's how they would say that. And then if I don't smile, they would label me as mean and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, but as I grew up to like 7th, 8th grade, I had a lot of black friends and started playing basketball and stuff. But like the first 4 or 5 months were really, really tough for me.
Wow.
But because I would say they were not honest, Yeah, the honesty part, wasn't there, I think they would act like they like you, but at the end of the day, they're just like maybe your enemies and stuff.
Wow.
That's how I define it, Because I would see them going to the corner talking, and then if I look, they just they just smile, they all smile, And that's a fact, I'm not trying to betray white people or anything. And then there, I just, I was suspended a lot in middle school because I just forget this, and I would fight, almost, Yeah. So that's it. And that's my experience. I was, and I guess they kind of came here and tell us, I don't know, African American here that those people are coming from Africa are African and they don't know nothing. I'm assuming though, So when we come here, they're like, oh, they don't know anything. So, yeah.
Excuse me. The non-white female is I hope I'm saying people's names correctly. Is it Wavi? Is that it?
Mavi, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're saying it right the whole time.
Okay. And the female, can you say your name for me again, please?
Muiza.
That's it. Muiza. Sorry. Muiza. You said you were also born outside the United States?
No, actually, I was born in California, but I grew up in South Africa. I lived in Nigeria for some time, but spent my childhood in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you? That's interesting. I guess. Okay. So, when did you come to the States?
Oh, I came in 2007, fall of 2007 for school.
Okay. Did you hear anything about black people in the United States? Like, did you hear anything bad about them? Like, they're dangerous, so you should stay away from them, or anything like that?
When I was living in Africa, no, not really. But like John said, that people over here like to sugarcoat things, but back at home they just tell you directly what's on their mind. So I didn't really have anyone tell me, like, watch out for black people, because what was happening here was sort of foreign to us, because we don't learn about what happens in America at school. So I never really had an idea of what to expect when I moved here.
Wow, so you had no idea of what to expect coming here from South Africa in 2007?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say no idea, like firmly, but it's not something that I talked about with family or friends, or that wasn't our discussion back home. We were focused on what was happening in South Africa,
Wow. Very interesting. We lost back at the bus for a second. He should be back with us. Are you with us, sir?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, groovy. Yeah, feel free. Share. I know we lost you for a second. Feel free to add your input.
Just interesting hearing what was shared by John and Louisa. I mean, that's white people telling you to stay away from black people, but I mean, I think it'd be very productive if somebody said, hey, we're in a system of white supremacy, you move to this area of the world. Black people get pointed out as dangerous people.
I just wanted to reiterate that in a system of white supremacy, it is not white people that get pointed out as dangerous. It is black people that get pointed out as dangerous. And Mr. Fuller just said earlier this week, black people, the most impotent, specifically black males, the most impotent people in the world, black males, according to Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. I guess we have about 15. There's a phone line open if you want to call in. I guess I'll toss that out to anybody. Anybody, if you'd like to call in, 347-215-6071. Feel free to call in if you want to share your thoughts. I know we had one non-white person on the line. Would you all be okay if I brought him on to see if he had any questions he would like to ask any of you about the class or any of your thoughts on racism?
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe this is Mr. Nero, 916. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can. This is Mr. Nero.
Okay, groovy. Did you have any questions or comments you wanted to share with any of our guests on the program today?
Well, I was hoping that your white guest would have participated throughout the duration of the show, but I don't believe he's still on, is he?
No, Mr. Spencer is no longer with us.
yeah, exactly. So I am disappointed. I feel disappointed about that. The one question that I was going to ask Mr. Spencer, since he is a white person, is there anything that white people are suspicious of in regards to non-white people? Anything. When they meet a non-white person, is there something that automatically that they have been taught to be suspicious of? And the reason why I asked that question is because in the area of the world where I live, in California, I noticed how small white children will look at you almost in amazement when you walk into a room. You know, it's a very peculiar way that small white children I have observed will look at you when you walk into a room, as if they're just trying to figure out if something that they have been told about you is true.
Very interesting. I'd like to hear from all the non-white people on the call, Moiza, Mavi, and John. I guess, yeah, if you've had any experiences with white children, and I don't know, them looking at you in a bizarre manner, if you could share your thoughts, that would be great.
I personally haven't had any experiences I mean, I'm usually not around kids, so it's hard to tell. But I haven't really had any experiences where I felt that like a white kid, I guess, was, or a little kid was judging me or trying to figure out if their view of me is different from what they've learned before. I haven't really had anything like that, so I can't really comment on that at all.
I haven't had an experience like that, but I do know a friend of mine was at a grocery store, and a little white child had pointed at her and said, "Look, Mommy, it's a black person." So the kid was just amazed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the look. Part amazement, part puzzled.
Yeah.
That's the look I have gotten on several occasions from small white children, maybe between the ages of 3 and 5.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was the question I had for the white guest, but unfortunately he didn't hang out.
It happened a lot to us, especially tall and dark black people from Sudan, as people know them. Especially my cousin, he has been here since 1996, he was telling us this story, he was walking on the street, and a white kid came to him and he asked him, "Why you so dark?" And then my cousin asked him, "Why you so white?" And then they just stopped there, and he was telling him.
Yeah. So he asked him, "Why is he so dark?"
Yeah, and then my cousin asked him, "Why are you so white?" And then
Yeah, interesting. And this was a child.
That was a child, and for us, it happens a lot, wherever we go, because, we're darker skinned and stuff. Wherever we go, it's not just only a kid, but almost every, maybe every white person, at least, I've never gone anywhere, and just, and just leave, without white person looking at anything. They would always look, and, look down, if I look at them. But, I don't, just, sometimes I don't feel like this is home for me,
Wow. Somebody else called the program. I just wanted to check to see if they had a question that they wanted to share with you all. They're calling in at 111. If you just called in, 111, if you had a question for any of the guests, you're on the air.
Greetings, Renegade.
Greetings, Mr. 720. How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay. How are you?
Another day on the plantation.
Indeed. I do have a couple questions for the students, and it's for all the students. And if we could start with, I think it's Moiza, and then John. And if they don't have a comment, that's fine too. But if they could let us know they have no comment, that would work real good so we could get to the next person. My first question is, for all three, did any of the white students in your class tell any of you that they would be calling into the show?
Not to me, no.
No, not to me. No, I didn't hear anything from anybody.
Yeah, same here. You know.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. My second question, and starting with Mwiza, the fact that these white people say they are so interested in replacing this system, this white supremacist system, with a system of justice, and then the fact that they don't even call into the show, does that demonstrate anything to you?
Yeah, it shows like a lack of interest in changing the system, and also sort of changing your mind. You say you want to do one thing, and then you do something different. You don't do it at all. And like I said earlier, it just sort of is disappointing and discouraging when people say one thing and do another. So
will you keep that in mind when you're in class from here on out?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And John?
Yeah, I mean the same thing. I mean, like they're not interesting. In what we are like what we are discussing in the class. And it's not it's not even like it's not. I feel like it's not they feel like it's not even like an important thing, to them or something. So maybe that's why they don't want to call in, to talk about it. As we are, it means something to us, because, because we are the target, and that kind of, pull us, or encourage us, like to call, so we can really talk and discuss this issue, because it's bothering us a lot, than them,
And so will you also keep it in mind when you're in class with them from here on?
Yes, sir.
And Mavi?
Yeah.
Yes for both questions?
Okay. Well, I mean, the first question you asked was, basically, them not calling today, what does that say about them, I guess, or their attempts to end, white supremacy? That was the first question, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I feel honestly, I know, many of them, do say that they want to end it, but, at the same time, like I said earlier, I wonder, what have they, done to actually, or what are they planning on doing to actually end it? And the thing is, I don't really know if they've really thought about it in the first place. And I mean, one thing they could have done probably today was just call and just talk for at least a little bit. And if they're not so comfortable, maybe leave or something. But at least call and just maybe talk or something. But for them to not do that, that also makes me think, perhaps they're happy with the way things are now, or perhaps they just don't really want to change anything. So yeah, I don't know. And then what was the second question? Sorry.
Yes, so will you keep that in mind from here on out when you're in class with them?
Yeah.
Outstanding.
720, you sound like you are suspicious of white people. You sound like, you go through life looking over your shoulder to be mistreated by a white person. I mean, what universe are you in?
Oh, which, by the way, Renegade, and I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say this to you. When I got up this morning, Renegade, for some reason I just could not get this song out of my head. And I mean, the moment I woke up, all I could hear was this song. And you can take this however you want in regards to your show that was on earlier today. And it started out something like, da 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 da. That's all I'll say.
Wow. Yeah. No comments. No comment. comment at all.
Okay.
We're just in the wrong universe. That's all. We just need to get a change of venue, and everything will be great. We'll have no more problems or concerns. White people will be doing right by us.
Yeah.
Did the folks hang in, Lauren Ashley, Non-Mighty Wick, or Justice? Did you all have any commentary you wanted to throw out for our guests?
I don't have any.
Oh, okay.
But can I share my email address?
Go right ahead, please.
justice.asap@yahoo.com. Again, justice.asap@yahoo.com.
Wow. Excellent job. Again, Justice, excellent questions. I really wish, first guest, I wish she had hung with us. That question was a doozy. First one. Any non-white person ever tells you they have never been mistreated because they're not white? Bam! Can you please outline in detail how you pulled that off, and take that, photocopy it, give it out to everyone, because that can end the cows. Waving to the chat room, I saw General Madness. I went over and I looked, and they were talking about the etymology of the word God, and just like, what the heck? What in the world? Enjoy, though. Enjoy. I'm not even hating. Enjoy. Type away. Have fun. It won't be back one more time, and that's it. So have fun. Get at it. I saw people were calling me names, too. Have fun. Do it, do it, do it. Justice is in there, too. You can talk to her, too. I did get one. I actually got two great things. Number one, Mr. Edward Williams, because Mr. Edward Williams was able to hook me up with the first program where Tim Wise was on the cows at Rainy Dog Radio. He was able to hook me up with that file so I can get the sound clip where he admitted to being a racist white supremacist. That will be repeated when he comes back next weekend. Next weekend, Tim Wise will be hanging out on the show February 21st, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be great. The other bit of news, Christine Tran emailed me Monday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Program is going down. Christine Tran will be on the cows tomorrow, President's Day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. noon. And as I said, the front cover of the paper, that will be on the back burner. We'll be addressing what happened with regards to her suspicious behavior with me not being on the program on Friday, and her being a non-black victim of racism, white supremacy, and how that plays out. So it looks like that's going down tomorrow, unless something nutty happens between now and then. So check us out tomorrow. Yeah, very interesting. Do you all have some other commentary you would like to share? I'm going to try and see if I can get Lauren Ashley back on. You all have made me work very hard today on the switchboard and controlling callers. Did you all have any other comments you wanted to share? Any of the folks who called in or students on the line, back of the bus? Anybody?
I did. Hi, Justice.
Thanks for hosting it.
Hello.
Thank you for hosting the program, Gus and Justice. Very much appreciated.
Least we could do, victims of racism, white supremacy. Yeah, the instructor has been putting in hard work dealing with suspected racists for a whole quarter. Least we could do in the effort to replace white supremacy with justice.
You all have anything to share? Weezer, John, Watts, Mavi?
Go ahead.
I think we got Lauren Ashley back too, so if she had a question she could shoot. If anybody else, if they wanted to share anything, go right ahead. Feel free. Don't be shy.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't have a question because I missed like a lot of the program, so. Yeah, I don't have any questions for the students. Skype was hating, so yeah.
Uncooperative internet, I know about that.
Yeah.
Groovy. Yeah, I wanted to make sure. Oh, yeah, I did want to make sure. Lauren, actually, she did have a great comment on Oprah. Actually, I can hush. You're here. You can share your thought because she missed out on sharing this on the Friday broadcast. So if you want to shoot your Oprah Winfrey comment, go right ahead.
Excuse me. What did you say about Oprah on Friday?
I said that she has done a phenomenal job of being public and talking. She has her talk show. She's been public, and she talks about everything to a lot of white people, and she has somehow managed to have this, incredibly lengthy career and to have never upset white people in a racial manner. She's never, to my knowledge, done anything to ruffle white people's feathers with regards to racism, white supremacy. Like, I don't recall white people ever getting to a point where they're like, oh my God, I can't believe Oprah said that. I can't believe she's never done anything, to my knowledge, to insult white people racially. And I just think that is incredible because she has done quite a few programs talking about racism. And I just think her record, bar none, is better than any other non-white person that I know in terms of just being able to never upset white people about racism. And she's talking all the time. She talks about racism. She's had many shows talking about it, and I think she trumps everybody. I think some people, they made a comment and they said Denzel Washington and some other non-white people, those people aren't out in front just chatting every day. Oprah Winfrey's on TV all the time chatting, and to my knowledge, she has never done anything to even slightly ruffle white people in a racial matter. She had Mark Furman on the show. She said admitted racists on the show. She had Toni Morrison on the show. Jane Elliott said she invited her on the show, and she has somehow managed to pull this off without ruffling white people ever, to my knowledge, in a racial matter. I could be incorrect, but that was what I said Friday.
Okay, you want me to talk about what I said about the whole weight thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The reason why I think Oprah has been having this struggle to keep her weight down is because that subconsciously she knows that if she was attractive physically to white men, that she would get backlash from white women. She already has like the money, right? So she's on a level with a lot of white men, and then to a degree, she has influence, right, on a lot of people. But if she was slimmer, because she's not ugly, in my opinion anyway, she's not an ugly woman, but if she was slimmer into a white man's taste, that she would get a lot of white women wouldn't like that. So I think that's the reason subconsciously she have this struggle with keeping her weight on. So she won't be attracted to white men. Because she would be too powerful, so to speak. I don't want to say powerful. I don't know what's a greater word, but she would, she'd be too attractive, I suppose. So. Is that all? I don't remember what I said. Was that all I said?
Okay.
I was talking to you.
May I respond to that?
Gus?
I'm not white. I don't have any control over non-white people.
Hello, can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Ms. Ashley, my response to Oprah is white people treat Oprah like Mammy.
No doubt, Mammy's not attractive.
I agree, and that figure to me, they're very comfortable with her. With treating Oprah like Mammy, and so it could very well be that that's the reason why she can't keep the weight off, along with a few other reasons. But I definitely, that's a very comfortable weight for her to be at. in order to deal with white people. It's, it's for her to keep that mammy image as opposed to, when she loses the weight. Because she has, she's had a yo-yo effect. She's gone up and down in the weight. And I can remember a time when she was real small. When she had lost a lot of weight. And had gotten, that's, people see, white people seem to respond, they responded to her differently. And I want to say maybe that was the late 80s, early 90s when she dropped a lot of weight all at once. And it came on the show, I think, wearing a pair of blue jeans. And glam, for the most part, glammed it up. But, yeah, it seems to me like, there's some comfort for her that comes with the extra weight. Because she has enough money, obviously, to hire the best trainer in the world, the best cooks in the world, and she's definitely in a strong, in a much, stronger position to eat well, and and exercise and all those other things, but there just may be, I think, a comfort level that comes with the whole mammy title for her. So there may be a lot of truth to your theory. And as far as ruffling feathers, Gus, I do seem to remember some of her early shows when she did the town hall meetings. I seem to remember that creating a little bit of a ruckus, and that's why she hasn't done them again. Because I can remember white people telling her that they didn't see her as being white. And she would say, well, what do you mean you don't see me as being white? I'm sorry, as being black. And her comment would be, what do you mean you don't see me as being black? Because I am black. And they'll say, well, but the way you do this, and the way you talk, and just the way you carry yourself, and blah blah blah. And they would say that in a roundabout way. And she never, when they would make that comment, she never took it any further. She would just let it go. That was about as close as I've ever seen Oprah get to ruffling their feathers in regards to race. But she stopped doing those types of shows. Do you remember the town hall meeting shows that she did on race?
Now, I had to come clean on Friday, and I have to do it again. I don't watch Oprah Winfrey. Now, I have seen maybe 5 shows, probably more than that. But I don't make it a habit to watch Oprah Winfrey. But I know when Katrina, unless I'm misinformed, she went to New Orleans and did several shows. I know she had Mark Furman on. I remember that. And I know she's had some other racists on. So it's not like she has just skirted programs talking about racism. She's hit it pretty front. I think even Toni Morrison went on her show and said she didn't trust white people. She's that's what I'm saying. I can't say she's ducked race. She has talked about it, and even from what you're saying, it doesn't sound like white people came out of that like, Oprah, I can't believe that, no good niggers got up there and said that. And
right.
I just don't remember anything like that, ever. She's got Obama beat everybody. I can't think of anybody who even comes close to what she has pulled off.
Yeah, no, I agree. In the times I've seen the show, especially the shows that she's done on race, one thing's for certain, she has never made the statement that you should suspect any white person that's able to be a racist. You should suspect them as being one. She's never made that statement.
For sure.
Now, that'll get you canceled real quick.
Mammy would be out of business quickly.
Right, exactly.
That would not be top. I am curious to see if anything changes now that she's on the home stretch and she's already had her resignation and everything in. I'm very curious to see if she decides to get a little rowdy as she is doing her victory lap.
Yeah, that's true. Now, she just did a show. I didn't see the show, but she just did a show not long ago on pedophiles. Where I guess she had like 4 or 5 pedophiles on the show that she interviewed. Did anyone catch that show?
No, I haven't.
I did not.
Okay.
Me neither.
Very interesting. I'll have to check from because that one could easily slip off into what's going on in Haiti right now and all that. I mean, she does. That's what I'm saying. I can't really say she's taking the easy route. She does a lot of shows that could easily, slide into somebody saying something and having a whoops and white people being furious. And she has been flawless in being able to pull that off. Not saying that should be imitated. I think that's interesting, very interesting, and impressive.
I agree. Oprah, it seems to me, has caught the most flack in her career so far about this, the guy she had on her show, Eckhart Tolle, regarding that book, The Power of Now. I think that's the most flack I've ever seen her take, outside of the show, because it didn't happen on the show. But as far as, from media and ministers protesting and, calling, what he was saying, some New Age doctrine that was pretty much of the devil, that's about the most flack I've ever seen her take, which really wasn't much at all.
I don't know. I just know I'm impressed, and hopefully she'll get rowdy as she makes her exit from the talk show. I would dig that. Have Jane Elliott on and have Jane Elliott say some of the stuff she said on the program. That would be great. And then they can get mad at the white person. They wouldn't get mad at her. They would get mad at Jane Elliott. So that would be great all the way around.
Now, have you ever seen the Jane Elliott show when she was on Oprah?
No.
You didn't catch that one. Okay.
No. Did you see that?
No, she has been on Oprah.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the show.
Oh, okay. What did she say when she was on?
She basically did her exercise where she divided the audience by eye color.
Oh. Okay. And it similar results.
But all of the attention, all of the flack and the drama that came up, all went towards Jane Elliott, not Oprah. Oprah kind of just stood on the sidelines, which was a safe place to stand, and let Jane take all the heat.
Wow, that's very smart. Very smart.
I agree.
Wow. Well, this is program number 2 for Gus T Renegade and Justice, putting in double time for so-called Valentine's Day. If anybody has anything they would like to add before we get ready to wrap up, I want to definitely thank all of the non-white students, victims of racism and white supremacy, for sharing their views. I know it can be a little nerve-wracking to get on the radio program and talk about this subject, which can be very difficult. But, yeah, for sure. Thank you for coming through and sharing with us. If if you'd like to get in your closing commentary before we get ready to wrap things up, go right ahead.
I believe all the people on the line are black, which is, I think, important to note. And Friday's program was brought up in brief. I forgot to mention Friday that I believe the non-black victim of racism, so-called Asian female, I believe she snitched on Gus, the white people, and prevented him from appearing on the cows, or on Rainy Dog Radio, excuse me. And also, Lorian Ashley had a comment on Friday regarding it was easier to speak to victims who were not black than it was to speak to victims who were black about racism. I agree. I found it's easier for people who aren't black to say, yes, white supremacy exists, so forth. If I've observed people who are black, I'm more vested in, if they do see that a system of white supremacy exists, people who are black are more vested in spending the time and energy to attempt to replace the system. That's my 2 cents. Thank you all for participating, and thanks for the hosting again, Justice and Renegade.
I agree. Thank you all. I enjoyed it. Very constructive.
All right. Maybe just one quick question, Gus, to everybody. Does anyone feel that white people think that they are more intelligent than non-white people?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Some, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yes.
Was there a follow-up, or were you going to...
No, I didn't have a follow-up. I just was curious as to know if people felt that way.
Can I ask a question?
If they had observed it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, okay. I wanted to know, how did people get interested in racism? I just wanted to know from people on the line. Like, what sparked a deep interest in racism to study it, if you do study it? So that's all I want.
Hello? Hello?
Well, let me just share with everybody how once confused I was. I actually made the statement to a white person that if white people in America were so racist, they would have rounded up blacks during World War II when Hitler was rounding up the Jews. They would have rounded us up and started barbecuing us also. I mean, I'd actually made that statement to a white person. That's how confused I was about the system. And then someone introduced me to Neely Fuller Jr.'s work and Dr. Welson's work. And then that's when my eyes, became open up about the system of racism. Because I run a test. I didn't believe everything that Mr. Fuller, Dr. Wilson said. I went out and ran a test. I went out and experimented, with white females, as well as with white people in general, to see if the things he was saying was true. And after running my test, I concluded that many of the things he had said about the system, I'd say 99% of it, was true. Just after running my own personal test.
Hello? Can I be heard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to give my story. And I'd like to also say, too, I always enjoy when you're on, Mr. Nero. I love hearing what you have to say. Always extremely interesting. For Lauren's question, with me, I can recall when I was about, 8 years old, we were playing kickball. And I remember I was caught up in this kickball game, and one of the other children, I think he was about 13, and out of the sky blue, I don't know where it came from, he said, "Why ain't there never no black people on the commercials?" And I was like, what? And I remember saying to myself, just kick the ball and who cares? Who cares? What are you talking about? I mean, it meant that little to me. I really was like, what? Just play the kick the ball so we can keep the game going. But what happened was, it was the strangest thing. It seemed day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, I'd say, I would look at the television and I'd say, And I wasn't even asking the question, but something was hitting me. It never. And then finally one day, I guess when I was 13, I said, how come there aren't any black people in the commercials? And that's what got me, and I started looking at everything. But that's how I got interested.
Yeah, well, for me, it has to do more because, well, this quarter, I'm taking like a class on African American history in the U.S. and, well, after that, I mean, that's when I kind of started thinking more about race than I had before. I mean, I took like a racism class last quarter to just kind of learn about like the prejudices that many different groups experience, including even like the Italian, people who are now Italian Americans because they were not considered white originally either. So, and just like learning about these different kind of things kind of had me thinking more about race and how it has been affecting us for centuries now, and like how it's still prevalent today. And some would argue that there is racism, well, even back in the, well, we already know that there was racism in the earliest days of America, but like it has just changed. The way that racism is displayed has just changed over time. So, well, we all know it's still prevalent today. So, yeah, like that's kind of how I got interested in it, I guess. Just knowing that it did not, I mean, I already knew it didn't start today, or like, just like this was like 10 years ago or anything, but like, it's just, like knowing that it dates that like back to like centuries, like had me get way more interested in it than I had ever been before.
For myself, it's been about 2.5 years, maybe a bit more, since I made replacing white supremacy with justice a priority. And the Renegade actually plugged me with his Mandalay counter-racist film review. And from there, started listening to Mr. Neely Fuller. And we asked white people a lot of questions every chance we got. I remember if there were some white people, they're getting asked questions. And even just listening to white people and observing them and keeping the cows in mind, like that was coined and used actually. Cows, Renegade would say, or cows would be said, and just to remember context. Anytime a white person would say something, put that in the cows, you know. Good. Looking back at my experience, I can say that understanding the system of white supremacy really puts everything in my existence in perspective, and things that you may have learned as being helpful before, that can be very helpful afterwards as well. So just trying to continue to be productive definitely needs to be solid.
Hello? Hello?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Since everyone shared theirs, well, everyone who wanted to share theirs, I'll share mine. My cousin was killed in a car he was killed by a drunk driver at the age of 19. It was 2005. And I didn't really understand him. And I had some trouble about that, and I got depressed. But like 2 years later, I met my male best friend. He's a Persian. He's a non-white male. And we got really close. And he started talking. We just started talking about Americans and stuff like that. But he started to tell me about the racism he'd been through. And so thinking back on my cousin, it made me want to understand black males more. And I knew that racism was a part of the problem why black males are the way they are. So that's why I got interested in racism a lot. Like, I knew it existed and stuff like that, but I I experienced some bad stuff, but I know it's not in comparison to most people. So, yeah, me wanting to understand black males more is what got me interested in racism.
You know, I'd like to add one other thing. You know, and this is interesting too. When I was 4, this was, 4 years before the other youth had said something about the television. When I was 4, we lived in the projects. I mean, like I say, we weren't poor, we were po. I'm still po as far as I'm concerned. At any rate, of course, there were a couple white families that lived in the projects, and a little white boy had gotten a brand new bike. Well, of course, that was something I didn't think I'd ever see in my lifetime, so I asked if I could ride his bike. First time trying to ride a 2-wheeled bicycle. Well, when I got on the bike, of course, I didn't know how to ride it, and this was a brand new bike, brand new, shiny new bike. And so, of course, I fell. I fell on it and fell quite a few times. Well, his father, and it was getting dark, his father came to the door, and he didn't come out the door. He stood, he opened the door, the screen door was shut, and he looks out the door at me, and he grits his teeth, and I mean in one of the most vicious voices I can recall. He looks at me, and he's looking like as if he had bullets going through my eyes. And he says, "Get off that bike, you nigger." Now, I had no idea what nigger meant. I had no idea whatsoever. But I'll tell you what went all through me. It went completely through me. What I knew was that if that man could hang me from a tree, if he could do something I knew that could kill me for being on that white boy's bike, he would have done it. If he could have possibly, if there were anywhere in the world that he could have got away with it, he would have killed me. But now here's the thing. Here's the thing as regards your question, Lauren. I simply looked at it as someone, and this truly, even at 4 years old, I knew it was nothing but evil. I knew it was pure evil. But that's how I looked at it. I knew nothing about racism or white supremacy. Racism, white supremacy. I didn't know that. But I knew that if there were any way possible he could have got his hands on me, I would have been dead. And it was the first time I'd ever heard the word nigger.
Wow. That really speaks to the power of the system, because we all have had events. But I couldn't link the events to an actual system.
Exactly.
I just didn't make that link automatically. You know what I mean? It took someone else to literally point that out. Just draw the line from one dot to another.
It's an interesting story. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
Well, I thank everyone. Thank you.
I have a kind of similar story, just observing over racism growing up. I can remember one time I spoke with my parents and my two brothers. We were in a vehicle attempting to get back to where we existed. And we pulled in the gas station, and this particular vehicle, it wasn't one that could easily be started. Like, you couldn't just put the key in and start it and then go on its way. So we get to the gas station, turn off the vehicle, and a white male approaches and starts kicking the side of the vehicle. I'm about 4 years old, and he's screaming, nigger this, nigger that, just kicking the side of the vehicle. And I remember being very scared. My dad, he opened the door and gets out, and my mom she's saying, "Get back in the car. What are you doing?" She's upset. Yeah, he locks the door, closes it, and he just looks at the white man. The white man's still screaming, kicks for a little more, and he turns around and walks away. And me just seeing that taught me a lot about the power, especially in retrospect, the power that white people have over us. There were other white people with this white person. They weren't immediately around the car, but they were in another area of the gas station. And it probably wouldn't have been the most beneficial thing for my dad to go and push this white man and shove him or do anything like that, because I suspect it would have instigated other white people to join in. And even in my dad's face, I could see he just felt, a bit incompetent. What was the term Mr. Fuller used, guys? Black males are, I'm forgetting the term.
Impotent.
Yes, impotent. Just not being able to protect us fully. Very vulnerable, feeling very vulnerable. And that taught me a lot. And even growing up, like, there were some younger kids would affiliate with people, I guess, their color, like black kids would hang out with black kids in school and so forth, Mexicans and white kids. And there would be rumbles or big fights where the white students would say, we're fighting the blacks today, or we're fighting the Mexicans. And on a number of occasions, some white kids would call me nigger or attempt to jump me. I'd have to get out of areas, or I'd get caught in the middle of like a big conflict where you have white people fighting these people and so forth. But not understanding a system that white people contribute to the global system that produces our mistreatment and maintains our domination. That's some very important information I lacked for a very long time. Man, I could share a story that's very interesting, especially if you are familiar with Dr. Rosen's ISIS papers and her theory on white genetic annihilation, how white people use weapons, what that really means. My older brother wasn't staying at home. About the time he was 15, he was living out. And on one occasion, I can remember, my parents were called to pick him up from the police. And this was, I'm not sure if people are familiar with Taisha Miller, the shooting of Taisha Miller. She was a black female. She was having a seizure in the car. And her friends called an ambulance. But what ended up happening was police officers came and they shot and killed her while she was foaming at the mouth. Anyways, we go to get my brother. He stays down on the floor. There's some white people standing around him. They've got rifles out. They're not marked police cars. They're white people you don't want to mess with. And he had mentioned, my brother later, that they called and didn't take him away because they didn't want to deal with any more flack. Like, I guess white people were upset that a lot of non-white people are focused on racism, because just not too long ago you have white officers shooting a black female and reports that the white officers were clapping hands and saying, "We got that nigger," and so forth. So my brother was able to call my parents. I asked him what happened, and he said, "I was just peeing." So he's here, he's peeing, he's visible to the officers, but they pull their guns out, and they tell him, "Don't move." And from that point, they proceed to apprehend him. But just in retrospect, understanding the system and also reading Dr. Rosen's work, just white people's fear of white genetic annihilation, and the black male specifically. I'm a black male, so is my brother. Just that fear and how it provoked them to get all suited up. And these white people weren't carrying handguns. It stood out to me. They were carrying rifles. And it was just a black 15-year-old teen at the time.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, can I be heard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
thank
hear
everybody. Thank you. Thank you everybody for sharing moments in racism. Thank you for sharing. I hope the program has been constructive. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Second time today. Some of you all second time calling in, Mr. Nero. Gentleman, I forgot 310. I forgot his name, but he called in as well. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the effort. Hope it has been worthy of your time and energy. As I said, I did receive the email from Asian female Christine Tran. It's looking like tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 noon Pacific. Looks like that's going to be showtime. Christine Tran on the cows tomorrow. Definitely come back. If you are able. They tell me, white people tell me, a federal holiday tomorrow. So I know a lot of people don't have school and some other obligations that they would typically have on the plantation. So if you are able, check us out live. You can call in, ask questions. I would definitely dig hearing some of the questions from folks who heard the program where we broke down the newspaper article as well as the Friday program about what happened where Gus T Renegade and Yellow Manny were not permitted to participate in the program. And I know Mr. 720, he called the broadcast himself at Rainy Dog Radio. So, yeah, if you want to call in tomorrow and ask Christine Tran some questions, she should be here. Check back. Things might go crazy. Never know. But right now it's looking like it is a go for 12 noon Pacific tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we have at least 4 shows this week already. One tomorrow, one on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Tim Wise will be here on Sunday, and have a non-white male coming in early Sunday morning. 2 shows next Sunday as well. Hopefully the non-white male, he will be a little less confused. I have been told he agrees that there is a system of racism, white supremacy. So that right there, things should be much smoother off the bat. Please favorite the program. That would be very helpful. Share it with friends, other non-white people if you think it would be constructive. Join the Facebook group. Back of the Bus put effort into getting that together. Lots of folks have been joining. I've been kind of surprised. But, yeah, definitely join the Facebook group. The link is right on the show page here at Blog Talk Radio. You can make suggestions for folks you'd like to hear on the show or other feedback you want to share. You can put your moment in racism. You can put that on the Facebook page, too, and generate some discussion around that. I think that's going to do it. I'm going to take Khadijah's advice. She was listening, loyal listener in the chat room. She said Gus has permission to put his feet up and relax for the rest of the day. So that's what I'm going to do, and see if I can get a blog post up as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Justice's email address is justice.asap@yahoo.com. One more time, justice.asap@yahoo.com. Back of the bus, his blog, nonwhitealliance.wordpress.com. One more time, nonwhitealliance.wordpress.com. Thank you for supporting the program. Anything before we close?
Thank you.
Place white supremacy with justice. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
It's been a really great program.
Oh, John, she left. You could have done your email yourself. My fault. Sorry.
Oh, I already told it this program.
That's right. I forgot. It's been a long day. See, it's been a long day. It's quitting time. Right on. Thanks, Peanut Head. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon. Justice, Gus T Renegade. Replace white supremacy with justice as soon as possible and leave the sweet white nectar alone. Very dangerous. Cows, signing out.